More than 40 years ago, Wanda Starke began her broadcasting career in 1977 on her birthday in Augusta, Georgia. For the past 25 years, she has anchored, reported, and produced at WXII in Winston-Salem. Here's her story.
For some, deciding what they want to be when they grow up can be a daunting decision. Such was not the case for Wanda Starke. As a fifth grader, Wanda had already determined that she wanted to be a news reporter. Originally from Hampton Roads, Virginia, Wanda's entry into the world of journalism began as co-editor of her high school newspaper. She graduated from the University of Richmond with a BA in journalism and speech communication. Her broadcasting career began in radio, but it wasn't long before she landed a job at WRDW-TV in Augusta, Georgia. Wanda's early years included stops in Norfolk, Greensboro, and Los Angeles, where she worked at KCOP-TV for 5.5 years.
Concentrating with Pee-wee lookalikes behind me. Did you win? Did you win?
First as a writer, reporter, and later substitute anchor. In 1991, Wanda made history as the first African-American named weekday evening anchor in the Buffalo market. Her days at WXII began in the early mornings of 1994 as the sunrise and news anchor. She later became co-anchor of the 5, 6, 10, and 11 p.m. news. Wanda is passionate about community involvement. She has been affiliated with Big Brothers Big Sisters since 1995 and was recognized as National Big Sister of the Year. She's also involved with the Women's Fund of Winston-Salem and the North Carolina Black Repertory Company. Since 2000, Wanda has been working with the Children's Home Society of North Carolina, profiling children waiting to be adopted in a weekly segment, A Place to Call Home. It's a personal issue for Wanda, who was adopted as a young child.
The latest numbers that I got, somewhere around 38% of the kids get adopted. Whatever it is, it's not enough. Every child needs a mom and dad.
A few years ago, Wanda took viewers on a personal journey as she reconnected with her birth mother for the first time in 25 years. Over the years, Wanda has traveled to a lot of places, from Alaska to Africa, sharing stories about people in the Triad. She has covered a lot of the big stories, from civil rights protests to major hurricanes and presidential campaigns. But it's the stories about ordinary people doing the extraordinary that bring her the greatest joy. They are the focus of her latest project, a 12 Inspire series highlighting the good in her community. Wanda Starke, for over 40 years, helping others by simply telling stories.
Ooh, red bird.
A fifth grader's dream come true.
Congratulations, Wanda. Please come on up.
Thank you, and thank you to the Academy. You know, when you've been in the business for 41 years, you have a lot of people to thank. Your family, your friends, anyone that I have ever worked with has helped me to arrive at this stage tonight. But I want to start by thanking God, who makes all things possible. I thank Him for guiding me on this journey. I want to thank my parents, CJ and Vi Starke, who had the audacity to tell a little black girl growing up in segregated Virginia that she could be anything she wanted to be in life as long as she worked hard. Their message always was, you can do this. And I want to thank my dad for insisting that I watch news every night. There was a lot going on in the 60s when I was growing up. Civil rights demonstrations, civil unrest, the Vietnam War, the assassinations of beloved leaders, shipyard strikes. There was a lot happening, and my dad would always say, pay attention. This is important. This is history. And he was right. I want to thank my high school journalism teacher, Ann Marshall. I had a turbulent senior year. I was bused to a school 14 miles away, and she was a strong, calming force, helping me to navigate my way to college. I want to thank my copy editing professor at the University of Richmond, J. Earl Dunford, for his engaging lectures and his support through the years. I want to thank James Brown, the godfather of soul. Why, you say? Because he gave me my first job in broadcasting. I didn't get a lot of money, but I got a lot of support, encouragement, which helps to build confidence, which is what you need in this business because you get a lot of rejection. And one of my favorite rejection letters came from a news director who told me that I was, quote, a solid reporter, but cosmetically, I didn't have what it took to work in Los Angeles. Yeah. Well, I want to thank that news director for telling me that I was a solid reporter. And I really want to thank Ed Coughlin, the news director who actually hired me in Los Angeles because he changed my life. I want to thank Ken White, who was my assistant news director in Buffalo and in Winston-Salem. I thank him for helping me to find my way back to North Carolina, for his support and counsel over the years, and for being a good friend. I want to thank my current news director, Lisa Falk, and my general manager, Michelle Butt at WXII, for their authentic leadership, for their kindness, for giving me a platform to tell stories, and for nominating me for this award. I realize that I have one of the best jobs on the planet, and I am so grateful for that. I want to thank the person who shot my very first live shot, my favorite video producer, the love of my life, my husband of 29 years, Ron Fisher. The best husband in the world. I am here because of you, and I love you madly. In closing, I just want to say, it is distressing sometimes to watch the news and see journalists verbally attacked on almost a daily basis and from folk in high places. I just want to say to all of the journalists in the room, keep doing your job. Keep asking the important questions. Keep telling good stories. And as you go about doing your work, just remember, pay attention. This is important. You are recording history. Thank you.